There are people who are like, yo, it's Drake, bro. Drake hold it down for the city. And other people are like, I don't go fuck, I'm going. Or I'm going to go see SZA. They're just making excuses. I'm going to go see SZA.
Yeah.
Bro, you know you want to go see Kendrick. It's all right to do that, bro.
Didn't that politician say the same thing?
Yeah, exactly. No, but Jack Me's an idiot because he's with Jack Me.
Before I had a phone, I was roaming with the data. Shit, I used to have a heart, now it's colder than a glacier. And the U2 in my parts got the focus of a laser. Some view this as an art, it's the flow that get you major. In my mind, I was him since I wrote it on the
What's
paper.
good, guys? It's your boy Sima, your boy Ronto. We got a special guest in the building. Tell the people your name.
Jovi, man. Don Von Jovi, if you want to call me that. But most people call me Jovi.
Yeah. We got him under the umbrella today. Clap it up.
Appreciate y'all.
Clap it up. Yeah.
Let's get straight into it.
So, because you're an artist, I have to ask.
Yeah.
I feel like we ask everyone this, but like, what made you start making music in the first place?
Expression. Just being a young child, I grew up around OGs who are really in the culture. So like, not just rapping, but like everything. So the graffiti part, the breakdancing, because those are also parts of the hip hop
Real
culture.
hip hop. Yes,
yeah. So
yes.
wanted to be a part of the culture and expressing myself. And you know, this starts off with like poems and like grade school, I would write like little poems and then rap. I was like, yo, this is ill. I want to be a rapper. So I just started writing and it would just kind of like let it out, you know? That's how it came to me, really.
Wow. So, what age would you say you started doing all that?
I would say probably around the age of maybe like 9 or 10.
Ooh, early.
Yeah, because I was pretty much raised by a lot of the OGs. So I'm like 9 or 10 chilling with kids who are like 14, 15 because I'm an only child for a while. So like learning from them, they're teaching me certain things, good and bad. And like they're playing all this hip hop and shit that I'm like, yo, what is this? You know what I mean? It's a new sound to me. For the most part, I come from Caribbean roots, so it's reggae, R&B. You know what I mean? So things like that.
Yeah.
But then slowly it became hip hop for me. Like that was my music. You know what I mean? So like I attached to it, and it was just like, yo, I was stuck to it after I heard it.
So, okay, what would you say is the best era of hip hop?
Honestly, I would say probably the mid 90s to the early 2000s. Mixtape era really is like one of the best eras.
Yeah.
But blog era is probably one of the most like independent runs where we saw like guys like Currency and Wiz Khalifa and them, Dom Kennedy. You know what I mean? Yeah, they blew up because they were hot online, that Piff, you know what I mean? So it gave the opportunity of independence.
So, question for you: who do you think is the mixtape king of that early, I say, 90s, 2000 era?
Yo, the crazy thing is between two people and they're both ops to each other. It was The Game and it was 50 Cent.
Really?
Because there was a point where their runs, like every time they were beefing, there was like a new hot tape that came out for the G Unit radio, or it came out for like The Game coming out with his Black Wall Street gang. So it was like either one or the other. So The Game was really killing mixtapes at one point in time. So if I could say the two artists that really were like changing the game was 50, because 50 made those mixtapes sound like albums.
Facts.
And then there was The Game, who was coming from the West Coast, and it was like, yo, this guy's lyrical, and he's from the West Coast. So that was kind of dope.
So what about like Lil Wayne, Cam?
Oh, 100% too.
Styles,
Wayne's growth, can't forget Wayne, man. Wayne 100% is one of the people that, yo, I'll be honest, in the beginning with Cash Money, I didn't necessarily get him. My homeboy Wheezy, that's funny. He put me on him. He's like, yo, Wayne's gonna be the one. When he was in like Cash Money Millionaires or whatever, I was like, I don't get this. But growth. You know what I mean? So his growth is ridiculous.
Trust me. He started rapping when he's like 14, 15, and he's still been doing
That's
it.
what I'm saying. To love that's a love for the culture, you know what I mean? Because, yo, he's pretty much seen everything across the world, has had money, has probably been through ups and downs, but just to say he's staying in it and hasn't said, yo, I'm retiring. I rate that.
Yeah. And then he switches over to like different genres, which I like. You know, he came out with rock albums and pop and all this stuff.
I think what happens is he's influenced by the New Orleans sound because they have the swing and the band. So like when they have a lot of the stuff, it's not just hip hop, it's rock and all these other mixes of like melting pot. Plus, I guess when you travel the world and you see what people like in Europe, they like dance music. So you'll notice even when you listen to like the UK drill, it has like
little nuances.
Tech music. You know what I mean? It's more of a like that's the way they feel in their thing. Grime, drill, garage. You know what I mean? Like those type of sounds.
Facts. So okay, so we talked about like your come up. Like, who are you listening to give you your style per se?
I would say guys like Jay-Z, Nas, Coogee Rap.
Man, a lot of people don't know about Coogee
Yeah,
rap
man.
nowadays.
Just the multi-syllable raps.
Yeah.
Just like that type of flow of the staccato and everything. I was really into the boom bap rap.
Yeah.
But then what I learned is that like as an artist, you have to have those sensibilities, but you also have to be open to trying new things. So like that's even how my name came about. You know what I mean? It was like I used to go by Castro. And then I changed my name through my friends saying, yo, everybody's name's Castro. So Don Bon Jovi was like a play of John Bon Jovi. So I was like, yo, I was laughing. It was funny and shit. Yeah. But they were like, yo, this kind of works. And then it's stuck.
It's like a smooth player type of
Yeah, exactly. You heard.
Facts. Okay, so all right, so we're in Toronto right now. So a lot's going on in the music scene.
Yo.
We were talking earlier about there being a lot of talent in the city. What would you say is missing in the Toronto music scene right now?
I would say the infrastructure of maybe radio where we can feel that we're not censored.
Yeah.
I know that the past for Toronto, they had a lot of university and college radio, so there was an exposure for artists. And another thing is that we need more shows across the board, but in order for that to happen, I think we need like outlets like when I think about Vice, which is a YouTube channel, that was a channel that exposed talent and other things. We need more things telling our story. Like I think we need more of the platforms like your platforms to kind of continue to tell these stories so that people can see like, yo, these guys are on the come up and they're ready to get out here and be heard.
Yeah, facts.
That's dope. That's actually like a great idea that like, you know, Vice is like, I've heard about it. It's been a big thing in the culture for a while, but like, I feel like they kind of fell off, right?
Yeah, they went bankrupt. You know what I mean? In the business of it, I guess it's different. But right now, look what you guys are doing. You're making it happen. You know what I mean? I see your setup. I respect it. I see the hustle. And we just need the hungry, young energy. Yeah. And energy who's not going to allow politics to get into it, because I think that's the big issue is the polys. Because it's like people are afraid to be like, yo, I'm choosing a side. You know what I mean? In business, there has to be that neutrality. So unfortunately, a lot of people don't get to be neutral. It's like, yo, bro, you want me to be involved in your thing, but I'm also trying to make a business here. So I got to be a little neutral on it, you know? And unfortunately, some of the politics stops like a lot of great music from being heard and showcased as well.
Facts.
It's true, because there's a lot of like stories like where you hear like Jay or Nas where they wanted to do something with another artist, but they couldn't because of politics, and like there's so much like music or just history that got swept under the rug because of like just fuckery.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then you know, like a lot of people are passing away because of foolishness, you know, and they're bringing it into the music, so it kind of dulls everything out, you know. It's too bad.
You know what it is the power of the voice, man. So I can bring it back to like when you asked me the question about music, I realized like it was so like strong. So like I remember, yo, not to even diss, but Puff Daddy used to have the "Don't push me, I'm close to the edge." You know what I mean? But that was from like Grandmaster Flash. But you see how he flipped that? And the first time I heard those things, I was like, yo, this is sick. Because it was a bopper, you know what I mean? But there was also a voice. So he had the production, but he's really saying something. So a lot of the times these artists are getting caught in the violence, it's because the power of the tongue. When you say certain things and you project it, project yourself as wealthy, project yourself as healthy, project yourself as safe. If you're like, yo, I'm ready to die and I don't give a fuck. Yeah. And if I buck, and you know, and what happens a lot of the times is the repercussion, because the power of the tongue. It can't control it. The world, we don't get to pick and choose that part of it. You know what I mean?
That reminds me of Biggie. You know, when he came out with
ready to die. Yeah.
It's like he spoke into existence, because his music was heavily focused on death. Like his last two albums were focused on death. Like, you know what I mean? Like after death and shortly after.
You know what scared the shit out of me is that you're nobody till somebody kills. I'm like, why would you make a record like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I noticed what Pac and them, they're like, I'm ready to die. I don't give a fuck. It's like, yo,
that's
bro,
what happened
like,
to them, though. Like,
relax.
That's what it always brings me back to Pac and them, because it's like they really spoke that into existence onto themselves.
Man, they
really
did.
It's actually spooky if you really think about it.
Because he kept projecting, I'm going to die young.
Yeah.
You know what I think? It's just
the
like,
Machiavelli and all that.
Yeah, like, yo, you got to understand the power of the tongue. It creates things. Like, look at what you guys are doing. believe it or not, the ideas that you guys spoke out into existence is why this is happening right
facts,
now.
facts.
You know what I mean?
Before this even happened, we had a lot of conversations just about like just doing something in the media space,
Right.
right? And like it was just one of those ones. Is like, yo, all that energy just kept on manifesting, happening, and it's like, yo, we came together, and like even stuff that we wanted just kind of fell into place.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes. You got to trust the process, right?
Yeah.
So go back to those artists is that sometimes I know they're really speaking for the streets and everything, but it's just you should be a journalist, but don't get so caught into it because that's how you see the artists getting cases because they putting themselves in situations because there's credibility to it. Someone can be like, yeah, I remember that dude shot, blah, blah, blah. Next thing they're arrested. Or the situation is, yo, I'm high, I'm on a perk, and next thing you know, they OD, bro. So you got to be very careful of what you say.
You know, most rappers talked about like just ODing off of like drugs, like
Yeah.
Juice WRLD, for instance. Like he's always talking about dying young and like, you know, overdosing and stuff. And then look what happened.
Yo, man,
Yeah.
it's a crazy situation. Even today in the news, one of the members of the Outlaws, which is part of Machiavelli's crew,
Yeah.
Tupac,
Yeah.
he killed
Tupac's
himself. Really? Yeah. So like,
What?
real shit. Like, you know what I mean? We just passed with Men's Mental Health Month, and I realized like a lot of men are going through things. So like another artist is taking his life, and unfortunately, man, it's a sad state we're in. You know what I mean? When we see like people who are truly gifted with words not being able to survive.
Yeah, facts.
It's mad unfortunate.
Yeah. So like, and that's why like we focus on mental health on this podcast.
Great.
Because, yeah, like a lot of men are going, not even just men, but people in general, they're going through a lot of things and don't know how to express themselves. You know, don't know how to even like bring up the conversation to somebody to even get help. You know, so that we try to focus on that. So hopefully help someone out there that's watching.
You know, as the man, them sometimes we'll roll up a thing, get a juice, or we'll laugh through the pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's pretty much how we've learned to process it. We're either laughing or we're finding ourselves in a rabbit hole of either chasing dopamine through smoking or drinking liquor. It's hard for a lot of men. Oh, in terms of women too, yo, both are going through sort of things where it's division too. Because look, when you look on the gram, it's always like man versus woman, versus woman. But in particular, watch it. It's always colored.
Yes.
Man versus woman.
Yes.
I've yet to see in my feed a white man and a white woman be like, oh, I don't like you. You're too short or blah blah blah. Put each other
You're
down.
not making that money. Yeah,
man. It's sad.
Yeah, it's where we live in, man. But
100.
So I did want to ask you, Drake just dropped recently. I don't know if you heard it.
Yeah, I have.
So what do you think about him and just him doing his little press run in the city and stuff?
I don't know how the city feels because I saw one response where the biker passed his truck and said some words to him.
Yeah.
So there's a love and hate for Aubrey in the city, and it's like some people really embrace the music and the things he's done. He's definitely changed the sound of hip hop, and no one can dispute that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mini-me's and a lot of people taking pieces of his art. I think with the Kendrick situation, it just it got too deep. You know what I mean? What should have been like a skim the surface type of battle, it got way too ugly.
Way
you
too
know what I'm
far.
saying? Way too far. Like it could have been done. It could have been like then done.
I kind of disagree with that, and mainly because of the history of Kendrick and Drake. And I watched a lot of videos just doing the deep dive on it. And it's been like a 10-year plus kind of like tension, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like it got to the point where it just blew over to like this big thing. Like they've been like frenemies since like 2012.
It's crazy though, because you know Drake
Yeah.
is on Poetic Justice, which is on Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
But
Great
then
album.
he went on that Big Sean record, Kendrick Lamar, and that was basically where it started.
Yeah.
And what I'm
2013.
what I'm starting to understand is that these guys are not homies. You know, a lot of the
Nah,
times it's
business.
structural business moves, and in most collaborations it should be, but only in hip hop we're like always so competitive. Like it can never be like a playing field of everybody. There can't be like a Justice League. You know what I mean?
Someone
but
has
in
to
like
be on
rock
top.
and roll, we need that. Like we
Yeah.
kind of need a Justice League because if we have a streamline, it helps everyone.
So I have a question for you. You see how you said that it kind of is very competitive? Don't you kind of feel like that competitiveness is needed because a lot of great music came from being competitive?
Competition is extremely important, right? Because what it does is it keeps you sharp. You see somebody you inspire, you're influenced, you're motivated. So I'm not going to say it in that way, but the problem is that sometimes we're getting too deep into other things, right? Let it be competition. Like, you know, when a ball player plays, after he gets off the court, yo, he's done. He might have that energy pent up maybe because he has that rush, that testosterone after playing the game. But bro, after he's gone home, chilled with his wife, kids, whatever, he's in his move on state. And I think that's the thing we have to do. We just remove ourselves from that, because I know the artist and the ego thing is the big part, right? So it's like the competition is necessary for us to grow. But at the same time, like, keep it off the field. Like, it doesn't have to be like the cat calling. Let it just continuously be about the music, you know?
Yeah. You know what the issue is? They're both petty. Right?
super petty.
Honestly,
super
that's
petty.
really what it is, because it's like, I feel like that moment last year when they were beefing was like one of the biggest things out of hip hop, and it gave hip hop new life, unfortunately. But like now it's like it's kind of still going on. It's just like it's pettiness. That's really all that's dragging it.
You know, the crazy part is they divided the fans who should be able to listen to both Drake and Aubrey.
Do you think?
Kendrick. Yeah, because what happens is a lot of people felt divided in making a decision. Even with that Kendrick concert coming, right? There are people who are like, yo, it's Drake, bro. Drake hold it down for the city. And other people are like, I don't go fuck, I'm going. Or I'm going to go see SZA. They're just making excuses. I'm going to go see SZA. Yeah. Bro, you know you want to go see Kendrick. It's all right to do that, bro.
Didn't that politician say the same thing?
Yeah. No, but Jagmeet's an idiot because he's with Jagmeet probably did dealings with Aubrey. Yeah. Aubrey probably said, yo, I'll do some things for the youth or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like, Jagmeet, you're going to deal with me like that? You're opping me, bro?
Yo, he came quick with the apology. No?
Had to. Man said you're a goof in the DM. I was dying because, yo, you know, that's a real Toronto response. If there was a better Toronto response, that was the realest Toronto response.
I'm not gonna lie, we're getting a lot of Toronto, like, vibes from Drake nowadays.
Yes.
I think he's really trying to put on for the city and stuff, because even with that 2 Mazda track, like, that was so Toronto coded.
It's so Toronto.
Yeah. If you're not from the city, you didn't
the
really
UK
understand.
is going to embrace that more because it's kind of like the play of the patois and the regular thing. So, like, I like the fact that he's done that, but I kind of understand in himself, too, that this is a point of time where he's probably looking within himself to be like, yo, I'm the enemy. I'm Scarface. I'm the person everybody hates. So let me just go out there and do something. And I really do feel that he's going to bounce back. It may not be in that same way, but it's just he's too consistent. It's too consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he's already kind of in the process of making a comeback, because he has like two like the biggest songs of the summer, Nokia and Somebody That Loves You.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the marketing behind even Not Like Us, it was just like everywhere in your face. And the problem a lot of times is just it felt like it was an attack on people of color from different places. We're still people of color, bro. Yeah. We still have gone through these things. And unfortunately, sometimes I find that the American view of us as Canadians is they just think it's simple pie. Like, they don't understand we're immigrants. We've gone through things. We've been systemic racism, discrimination, all sorts of things have happened to us in Toronto. It's just because we speak differently, they don't understand that. And when we meet, we need more voices from the artists who've been through that, to not just be about like, yo, I'm a gunman and I sell drugs, but actually show them, yo, there's a lot of fuckery in Toronto.
Yeah. Like,
no, I was just gonna say, no offense to our American viewers, but it's just like ignorance, you know, like they're not here, they don't see our stripes, they don't know what we go through, right? So it's like they just look at it like, oh, like Toronto's sweet, or Toronto doesn't.
I would say the reason why that
not
is
even Toronto, but just Canada.
I would say Canada because of the fact that the one thing we're not is North Americans or Americans. It's like they're a marketing beast. We see them everywhere. Yeah. We've seen the movies in Hollywood, so we kind of somewhat know what the Bloods and Crips are like. Yeah. We've seen situations in Chicago because of guys like Academics. So we kind of know what's going on in Atlanta. We know what's going on in these other pockets. So what you guys are doing, believe it or not, is you're planting that seed for that to come. So what happens is that can take anywhere between 5 to 10 years. Yeah. So there was that time when Atlanta had that sick run when Jeezy was out, Ludacris, Gucci Mane, all of these guys were coming out same time. And it was unstoppable because what happened is that they were waiting their turn in the background while they were doing the Chitlin circuit, which is like Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. They're making money. They're making all this money we don't know about. Then what did they do? They started to market themselves. And you go to a state like America, then you suddenly see them on like XXL or you see them on MTV. So what's going to happen within Toronto, what I see is happening with even you guys, is the voices are going to get so strong and prevalent that the labels are going to soon be reaching out to guys like you. Or soon there's going to be a lot of people reaching out to you to be like, yo, who's the voice of this city? Who you think is hot? And you guys are going to become the tastemakers of what's happening in the city.
Yeah. Yo, look out. Look
out,
100%.
Yeah, I believe it. I firmly believe it.
Yeah, man. How do you feel about a person like Adam22 that has such a big platform to come check out one of our artists?
I think that was a good thing, but I think it's a little too late. I feel like Adam22 is doing that now because of the Big U situation. A lot of the work that he's done through No Jumper, as an early watcher of No Jumper, it's not the same show.
Definitely not.
So what's happened is that if he was to go back to that early journalism thing, and I can see that's what he's doing by traveling to different places, and he's finally making it about him. Because I see you wanted to let the gang come in and get their own show or representation of it, but the real truth of why it worked was because it was just Adam and the guest. Adam and the guest. And I guess when you start to make money and veer away from what's really important, because I think a lot of things change, bro. Like his girlfriend and all these other, situations, mod situations, some not safe for work type of situations are going in, and it kind of deflected from the journalism and the music, because this guy is a guy who had Kodak Black on, Triple Extension, he had Lil Yachty, he had all these guys, ASAP Rocky, everybody, bro. And at one point in time, everybody's like, yo, who are these guys? Some of the guys were unknown, you know what I mean? And he was able to leverage them. Then the poly shit started to happen. That's the problem.
It's funny because how I even found about No Jumper was through the X interview, because at that time X was kind of like this underground, like anomaly, right? Like his fucking jail picture was going viral. And people were like, yo, who is this guy? And then he did that interview with No Jumper, and it was just like, all right, like this is a platform.
What?
And then all he had was all these big names like Ski Mask, like you said,
Juice WRLD too. Rest in peace, Juice WRLD, bro. All these sick artists,
and he had them early too, right? But it's unfortunate that like the direction that he's taking and how he's kind of starting to shine a light on these other. He's kind of going back to his roots, but he's doing it too late.
I agree. I think what happened is the metrics, because these guys are going off of number games after you've done it for a little bit of time. And I think what he realizes that the negativity brings higher metrics. It's not that he wants to be that messenger. He also wants that neutrality to be like, I can bring the good and the bad. But most of the time, controversies kind of brings more people to the situation. So I think that he's just using that in the terms of marketing himself.
I think with him is like people look at him as like the bad guy, like 9 times.
100%, man.
Because it's just like. Yo, he brings all this negativity, and like nobody's really looking at the positive stuff that he does.
Bro, honestly, when you're a voice and you're not necessarily a person of color, they're always gonna try to bring some sort of stereotypical kind of response to that. Oh, you're a gatekeeper, or you're doing this or that, not understanding like before he blew up here, he was doing like mad shows. He was also selling like, I think it was BMX stuff. He had what's that game they play where
the top
thing. You know what I mean? So like he was so simple with it, and then I don't know which interview brought him over the top, but one did, and he probably realized
the
like
X one. That was like
it was the X one, right?
Because nobody knew about him until that X video. That
that was a good one.
Yeah, because it went viral. Like X was just like this underground anomaly that people were just like wondering who is this person, and then that kind of shined light on him, because he was always, like you said, he was doing shows. He was always kind of in the background, but it was just that one push that he needed to really.
I definitely liked it better when he used to go travel and be on tour. And go to different shows and shit.
It was more authentic. Like, it was more
way more authentic.
Like, you could tell it was like fun. Like now it's just too like political.
Do you think that it's the gang activity that kind of changed and altered it? Because I realized once he started to bring certain sets into like his faction, it like changed the way everything was.
I think No Jumper became like a hub for the gangs to get their politics off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It started becoming less about music and more about just exterior stuff, like you said, gang culture.
Exactly. Look at the Fig community or what are those guys, how they came together, but they're all like No Jumper workers. So they built their stuff, and at one point in time, like Adam used them too, but they were used in a way to bring light to the LA. So I kind of understood that. He can't step through certain neighborhoods. So we needed these guys to be steppers, right? Yeah. But at the same time, I get it.
So I have a question about you saying that he used them. Do you think it was more like I scratch your back, you scratch my back?
I think so.
Use has to stop being as negative as people think it is.
Yeah.
Because even with you guys are using each other's energy to get to an objective and a goal.
Yeah.
So it's just about like like knowing this person has a talent. So maybe the use is like, yo, this guy knows how to talk to the street. So I'm going to allow him to be a platform for me as well. Help me, but help himself get more confident. Because 80, when I take an 80, when 80 started to when 80's now, like, you see like the evolution of it. He got better at speaking. He even fixed up his appearance because of the fact that he's seeing himself. He's like, yo, Charlemagne is probably the greatest example of that. Like, yo, you see Charlemagne, he had like this spot on his face. Then, you know, a little money, polished up, looking like he's working out, looking like he's money. So, like, that's the evolution of most platforms, you know, talent. It's supposed to happen that way. So, like, I don't hate Adam for like helping these guys. He helped a lot of guys of color get to their level. You know what I mean? No matter what they want to say, he has helped them. Yeah, and
there's a saying like, if you can't be used, you're useless.
Right.
Who wants to be useless, you know?
You always want to be a resource. That's big facts. You always want to be a resource, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But spinning back to the whole initial question about him coming to the city and stuff. He came to the East.
Yes.
What's up, Vern? How do you feel about that?
I think that he's showcasing the artists that need to be showcased if he feels that he wants to put them on the platform. Yeah. I kind of understand the type of music that Adam kind of wants to make big. And, I'm not against it. Unfortunately, sometimes what I was saying before is that we just need more platforms to have more neutrality. It doesn't have to be the politics stuff. It doesn't have to be putting down people. Like, we need it to be more about the music. And, with Stay Hungry, just doing it, I know you guys will be stalwart guys if you just keep doing it, man. It's just about staying on the course and continuing to just be tastemakers. So, like, thank you, Adam, because Adam still brings light to Toronto, and there's going to be other people like, yo, I seen this guy from Malvern. Start a question and ask, yo, where is Malvern? What is Malvern? You know what I mean? There's people who don't know what that is.
Yeah, because, like, certain suburbs that we have in the GTA, people don't know about. Like Brampton, Scarborough, Ajax, those areas, right? And what I liked about what he did, he came to the city, he worked with Sab 4X, and he also did it with, I can't remember.
Top 5?
Top 5, but no, they did it. He did content with this platform. It's Toronto rappers. No, not Toronto rappers. It's like it's kind of like a on the radar, but we have it here. It's like a red label. I don't know.
Hanu Freestyle?
Something like that. I can't remember what it is. When I remember it, I'll put it. I'll mention it. But yeah, no, he's been he came to the city and he really showed love.
Yeah, and I hope that it shows other people that it's accessible. I like the fact that like he went to these different areas. I think what the problem was is just before is like I was saying is like a lot of Americans don't acknowledge that there's poverty in Toronto. Facts. A lot of the times they just think it's kind of like we don't have blocks. We don't have situations, and it's like, man, if you come here, you'll see it's different.
Like for me, I went to high school in the States. Yeah. So when I got there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm from Toronto, like Canada, like, bro, like, so like they're looking at me like, oh, this is an actual black person from Canada, like, oh, they got you up there, like, I'm like, yeah, there's plenty of us, like,
we live in igloos,
like, crazy. A man asked me if we ride polar bears and shit. I was like, yo, like, I was like, nah, you guys are wilding, but like, yo, get serious out there. They did not believe me.
I believe it
until I started showing them. I'm starting showing them news clips. I'm like, yeah, this happened on the street. Like, they're like, oh, shit. Like, okay, it's serious out there.
But it's funny because for us, I feel like, remember the Chicago drill culture?
Yeah.
Remember how, like, it was becoming such a big thing? Like, I feel like for me or just, like, people that was around at the time, we didn't know how bad it was. Like, you need certain movements to kind of shine a light on the city.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't want to dwell on the negative, but, like, it seems like that's the only way certain people like will accept you, like if we didn't have a name for ourselves where like we get busy out here, we do our thing, like shit pops off. If that wasn't a thing out here, for some places they wouldn't even try to look over here and take
well,
it
we
seriously.
all know that a lot of the people of color here come from either the African diaspora or Caribbean. So like our origins are already strong. So a lot of the times what it is they're underestimating us because they don't understand that we're not pure black, and meaning that we were not descendants of slaves, but we were descendants of slaves, if you know what I mean. We were just not in the South picking cotton. Exactly. So a lot of the times our fight is a little different. And I was kind of thinking something the other day in my mind. I was just like, even these rappers who you may connotate as negative, yo, they're businessmen. Yeah. And honestly, sometimes their illegitimate business allows them to structure a real business. So sometimes you'll notice these guys are going faster because they're like, yo, it's not about skill. It's about how do I organize my business? I'm investing in myself. I understand the supply and demand. I understand the channels. Yeah. And that's what you'll notice sometimes, like the negative artists or the negative stuff kind of goes further. It's not necessarily to glamorize it. It's like these guys really do come from nothing. They're spending the money and showing you, yo, I'm investing in myself. Yeah. You know, there's a positive in that. And some get an opportunity to go further, and others, it's just kind of like for the time being thing. You know what I mean? And I respect it regardless.
Yeah, I believe you gotta be you have to be street smart just as much as book smart.
100%.
You know, you mix the two, you're unstoppable.
Exactly.
You know,
so I didn't remember the platform. It's called Studio of Legends.
Okay.
I don't know if you know it. They do a lot of underground artists. Like, so they did
I think I saw something.
So let me show you their Instagram page. But yeah, shout out to them because they've been going crazy.
Yo, and I love that. I love just to seeing the fact that we're seeing more platforms because this is what's needed. A lot of the times people are so quick to complain about what we don't have. And what we have to understand is that when we didn't have anything, say we didn't have Kool-Aid, we had lime and sugar, we would make lemonade. You know what I mean? So it's just about kind of understanding we're actually a benefit. No one cares. So work on doing the fucked up shit, like in terms of like maybe shooting and it doesn't look good. Try to create these platforms and understand like it's not going to be a great thing at first, but the consistency, it's like the one thing me and my boys always talk about is like motivation and discipline are two different things. And if you notice, sometimes you'll see people with discipline or artists that are athletes, and what they've gotten better with is just understanding like they kind of put it together with sports and discipline. Like, yo, you got to practice to get better. You got to practice to get better. It's not fluke or I feel like doing it. It's like, yo, you manifest it through muscle memory. So as long as we continue to do this, what you guys are doing, naturally, it's muscle memory. The more you do it, the better that it is.
Yeah. So I do have a question. You mentioned motivation. What motivates you when nobody's watching?
I told you it's discipline. It's more discipline because I've been doing it for such a long time of knowing that like over and over again the process. So waiting for motivation, it can come in little pockets, but for the most part, it's like growth of hearing myself and evolving.
So all right, so I'll say prior to you learning discipline and stuff, what was that initial spark of motivation? What really said, yo, like I really want this? For myself, because you know you can have a passion for making music and having it be your like around you, but like what gave you that switch to really say, yo, this is what I want to do?
A lot of the times it was the reaction from other people. I would say when I was younger there was like an esteem issue where I didn't feel confident in it, and it was just kind of like a gift that I had and I played around with, and there was a few things that kind of changed my course on that. One was the death of one of my close friends. He had passed away from suicide, to be honest, and he was a talented individual, could make beats, could rap, make clothes, everything. And I was just kind of like, yo, what would my homie want me to do right now in place of him not being here? And it would be to make music and do the things that I love, because we used to get excited about that stuff. So like I'm like basically a torchbearer for my homie, and those stories of like coming from the ends and losing people and knowing like, yo, I'm the last voice for some of these people. Some people will never know these names or remember these people because people forget, you know what I mean? So I want to be able to hold it down for my people.
No, it's crazy you see that because there's a lot of artists that were just on the come up. Like, I think Cam, for instance, he always bigs up Big L.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that's carrying that legacy. You know how they were, they had that group Children of the Corn and stuff, right? So it's like you have people that do it, and it's such a great thing, but it's a heavy burden or heavy weight.
100%, man. But at the same time, you know that you're doing it for the right thing. There's a right intention. Whether I make lots of money or I don't, I'm still doing it from like that internal voice of knowing like I'm representing us. I'm from the East End, and I'm speaking as a representative for my brothers and my sisters, my mother, my aunts, my uncles, you know, my people. I want to be able to do that for all of us. Yeah. And I realize that that's probably the hardest thing in the city is because everybody's still looking at like that competition part where it's like, yo, you got to be this guy, that. But it's like, there are 8 billion people in the world. If you can get 100,000 people interested in you, you're good.
Yeah,
facts. That's all you really need.
You're good, man. Kai Cenat and those guys are inspiring a lot of people to get on their grind, bro.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I remember, like, he was in Vegas at the time, and I was at his crib. We were just chilling, and I was just watching a lot of streamers.
Yeah.
And that kind of even gave me the motivation to even get all of us together, because it's like, yo, it was like the whole EMP movement. These guys are in Japan just streaming and stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is lit. Like,
bro, I used to watch Phantom when Phantom used to talk about chopped cheese in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And he was in his crib in a fucking video game seat or whatever. And he'd be like, yo, this chopped cheese from this shop, whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, these guys are... Cause I seen him again, I was like, "Oh shit! This is the same guy that was in his crib sitting down and just talking about chopped cheese or talking about gal."
Yeah.
And now look where it is, and that's an art to be like, there's no other audience, just the chat, flaming fire, going fast as fuck.
Yo,
and
you
he's
have
like
to be
having
able
a
to,
conversation.
you have to be able to lock in and read everything.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
You know, stay
bro.
engaging and
it's funny that you said that because we were in New York and we're doing content over there, and like, bro, the whole time I asked this guy, I was asking for chopped cheese. It's because yo, these New York guys kept on pushing chopped cheese. I'm like, yo, I need to get myself a chopped cheese.
We still didn't get him a chopped cheese, y'all.
No?
We didn't get him a chopped cheese, y'all.
We're only there for a week. I mean,
Not
weekend.
A weekend.
Listen, a man could have put you on the deli out in the corner, bro. The bodega. All of them have it, man.
Facts.
Oh, man, I'm sick.
I was eating those regular.
Yo, we're back out there.
What's your chopped cheese order, though?
I like to have... I like black pepper, mayo. I like tomato, lettuce on my chopped cheese with little things like that. I like it. It's a hamburger, so like mixed it with that. I like a little hot sauce on it, and I'm good.
Yeah. What's the bev?
The bev could be either a water or it will be like a grape juice or something. You know what I mean? Because you know you can get those sodas out there or whatever. So I fuck with that. Yeah. Or Arizona for sure. Bro.
You can't go wrong with Arizona.
Arizona's clutch, bro.
Trust it.
Wait. So before we switch, what's a good deli out there? Like a good
honestly,
bodega?
I can't even think of one off bat. I was in Brooklyn, but for the most part, there'll always be a good deli out there because, man, when you go to New York, people complain quick. If the shit is not thorough, niggas will just... I remember I was in Brooklyn on Flatbush and Church, and I went to this West Indian restaurant, and this man, he got rice that was too hard. He's like, yo, bitch, you ain't put no gravy on this. Threw the shit up. Yo, shit is on the wall. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, this is what really happens out here. So, like, yo, you got to be thorough. You got to make sure, like, yo, you make that shit right or you could die. Like,
they're not playing out there for real. So... we were talking about marketing and how people put themselves out there and how, like, if you do it the right way, you'll blow up.
Yeah.
Right? So we all know about Charleston White at this point.
Yeah, bro.
Right? Did you see him in the Island Boy boxing match?
Honestly, I thought it was ridiculous. Charleston White is a big grown man. And you know, he kept grabbing the Island Boy's thing. And it's like, yo, that's not really boxing. That's kind of like brawling. Like, you know what I mean? You could tell Charleston White... yo, the man backs up what he's saying because he's not afraid. Yeah. Yo, he has his gun ready. He's not afraid to call the feds. Because he's a civilian. Remember, he never propagates to be no gangster. He's a civilian. So he has his rights. He knows his amendments, everything. So he's always protecting himself. But that situation was just the cash call. And the Island Boys, bro, oh my God, fam. Like, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah. But I like to see how they're still marketing and putting themselves out there in a even though it's boxing, it's a different way to keep people engaged and keep looking at them, which I was like, that's kind of genius.
But the thing is, that's what it is like a lot of these guys have teams. So just because we're seeing maybe the Island Boys always in the front, there's maybe like a whole brain lab of guys putting together these ideas to make sure that they stay consistent and current. Yeah. Because even the controversy brings some sort of attention to their streaming. So, like, I imagine how much streams they got, even though Charleston looked like he was done in my youth. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he's a bigger man to him. Otherwise, I would be like, yo, that's not a fair matchup.
Facts.
I mean, he also is old too, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
The man has like one eye, so it's like.
I was saying there was no, but I was saying because of the fact that it's like age. Like he probably has real strength in terms of like in his even with pride. He's like, I'm not gonna make this young boy knock me the fuck out. So every time you see what he did, he played him close and kept headlocking him. And then he's doing 2 shots here and there, but it's pure headlocks. And the man's probably talking like, you ain't gonna embarrass me. You ain't gonna embarrass me. You ain't gonna embarrass me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought that was marketing genius.
Yeah, it was, man.
Yeah, so we have this segment called Pandora's Box.
All right.
We actually don't even know what's in there.
I like this.
So what we do is we get our guests to read out a question.
All right, let me fish right here. Let me go. All right. In what ways has social media affected mental health, both positively and negatively, in your experience? I could say that it's brought a lot more awareness to my cause and what I'm doing. I would say the negative to it is that a lot of the times people got this FOMO where they can't resist looking at their phones. That dopamine rush that they get from like looking at their phones, what starts off as like 2 minutes ends up as 15. So like I noticed that that's what happens. Even in my feed the other day, I had been in a networking event and I gave my phone to a homie to add my grandma or whatever, and he saw my feed, pure gal them, and I'm like, yo, why do I keep seeing all this shit? I keep seeing these women in my feed, but I'm not liking any of this stuff. This is just coming into my feed. So it's just kind of like one of those things that if you're in a relationship, it could test your relationship, whether a man or a woman. You can see that those things kind of happen. If I think about something, suddenly it's on my phone. That's kind of I feel very leery about those type of things. But I do like the fact that you can have a voice and build halfway across the country. Because that's the thing, like, let's not look at our brethren who know us and are in passing and can dap us. Look at the people who don't know us and the opportunity for our platforms to grow because we put ourselves out there. There's always going to be some sort of constructive criticism, even from yourself. You're going to want to be better in it. But that's the positive. The positive is the exposure. The positive is the opportunity to speak to people. The negative is that sometimes it's not about the content. It's just about being there. A lot of the times a girl will put up a picture of her showing her ass cheeks and get 100,000, where a man will kick knowledge and talk about the world and he won't get love. Or a woman will talk about, yo, this is what we should be doing as women, and it kind of gets ignored. Look at that B. Simone situation that happened. That's a great example. B. Simone, she was talking about buying from H&M and not being able to buy from another retailer, and it kind of veers away from people who can't afford that shit in the first place, but they're hating on her because they're like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, you're all right, you're not, I can't pay my rent right now, I can't. And that's another thing. If you going through those mental situations or your paper's low, get the fuck off social media, because it'll mess up your brain, bro. It can mess up your brain.
No, most definitely. And it's the sad part, like, it's so funny because even with social media, it gives this perception of wealth, even though we're all kind of going through it. And we're in like a recession right now, so it's like people just are like trying to flex, but we know you're hurting. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not what it makes, like what it seems to be.
Yeah, no one's showing their bad days on social media, you know.
The path is that sometimes it leads some guys to crash out too, because you see their mirror, you see the chains, you see the cars, you see all of this stuff. So what it does is it kind of influences some people to be like, yo, I can get this through illicit means, because, man, what's the point of working if I see this homie with the chain and the money phone and all these other situations? It kind of inspires young kids who may have been like, yo, I'm going to be good in school. And they're like, nah, why I got to be good in school for? You know what I mean?
Get that. Yeah. It's craziness.
Yeah. So question, what do you wish people talk more openly about social media? Like,
definitely in the mental health, the part that like the pressure to kind of always look like it's flawless. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Is like, even me, I'm learning to be real in my process and in my page by talking about like, yeah, I fuck up, and sometimes I don't feel like doing this. Sometimes like, I get nervous about doing these things. I'm a person that, for the most part, keep to myself. I'm introverted, but because I believe in the music, I gotta put myself out there, because I don't know who will hear me. So that's been probably the hardest thing, is just like coming out of my comfort zone, because it feels uncomfortable. Yo, when I see like Gilly or Wallow, and Wallow's able to just like, yo, you could do this, but I'm like, yo, has everyone seen the B-roll of when he fucked up? He probably did that for like an hour straight.
Nah, he probably did like 10, 20 takes that we don't know about.
Yeah, mad takes, mad looking at yourself feeling cringy, like, yo, I don't like how this looks. But once you get past that, there's a discovery. So I'm really heavy into like failing to win. A lot of the times you gotta fail to win. You gotta fuck up a little bit in order to go further and perfect your game.
Yeah, you gotta go through the pain to get the game.
100.
Yeah, I truly agree with that, and I think even showing some of the pitfalls and like the bumps and bruises are definitely important for people that don't understand
100%
what they're going through. Even for like the younger generation, like they probably feel like they just need to be perfect to put out a product. Like,
that's the problem.
When we started, like, yo, there was a lot of errors. Like, yo, we like some of our videos used to come out just like terrible. Right? like I gotta be like honest about it. Like, you know, like there was like noises in the background, but we kept on pushing through and even trying to get the product to be the best that we could.
Nah, you remember when we didn't even have mics and we were just talking and using the camera, the camera audio? Man, it was
But that's the fact that you still started. Because remember, there's homies just like you guys sitting down in their gates or whatever, bunning or whatever the situation they are, and they're thinking, yo, let's start a podcast. But that man's like, nah, dog, I don't want to look foolish. I don't want to be embarrassed. Because a lot of people's like, oh, people are watching. But what you guys did is say, fuck that. Let's just start. And then we can kind of fix it, refine it.
Yeah.
And it's making notes. Every player does that. Every basketball player, or, you know, if you guys are into football, like there's the watching of the tape. When they're practicing, they're studying the tape. Like, yo, that guy's a defensive beast out here. I know how to knock him down, you know?
Yeah. It's funny because even with I remember there was like moments like you would post like content, right? And like even on TikTok, people are like they're really brutal. Like, yo, you guys suck. You guys should stop doing your podcast. Remember
who gave them a mic? All this crazy.
Oh, we need to raise the prices of mics. Like, yo, people were like going like when we first started, it was so like funny.
But yo, take it in. Look at all the comments who comment and see what they're doing for themselves. Because a lot of these people are afraid to go step out in front of a thing, but they can always make comments. And that was a great thing I'm going to bring back to social media is the fact that there's so many people freely open to like discuss other people and say, oh, your shoes look like this or that. But if you go to their page, you're like, yo, you look like a mud duck. How are you going to talk? How are you talking about me? You know what I mean? You don't even, you're not up. You look des. Like, you know what I mean? You're not looking in your best. So I realize like it's an open forum for criticism. But if you can build a thick skin, all it does is just make you more confident and hold your head high, right?
Yeah. I did want to ask you something because you mentioned music, and I feel like obviously you're an artist and stuff. So you dropped a tape recently. Like, talk more about that in your creative process.
Yeah, it's called AirBnB, and it was a combination of me, the artist, Jovi, and my producer, Blind Vibrations, coming together. AirBnB stands for Artist in Residence. The BNB stands for Built Never Bought, and this album or project was created as an escape. You know, sometimes you want to take like a little stay vacation, you go away, book a little Airbnb for the weekend or whatever. I wanted to kind of be a creative voice of therapy. I was going through a lot of things at the time I was creating the music, so I created like this place in my mind that I can get away from. So Airbnb was kind of like how I put it together.
You know, it's so funny, like, just listening to the music, I could imagine myself on the drive to the Airbnb.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I appreciate
that. That's the vibe it gave me, and I could really, like, sit in there and be relaxed and chill, and it's not, like, it's almost nostalgic.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's a bit of the old with a bit of the new, so that was a definite thing. I wanted that to be known. But it's also about just, like, talking real tales of guys from Toronto and what we go through, because I have a record called Pain where I talk about like sleeping on the floor and nobody knew it. You know what I mean? Going through real problems. But every time you see me, I always have a smile on my face.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is that like music allows me to be vulnerable where sometimes I'm not able to. So Airbnb was an opportunity for me to talk about what I'm going through. And I actually have the follow-up coming sometime in the next few weeks. It's called Extended Stay. So I've decided to spend a few more days, and I'm bringing a host and guests on it.
I like that.
So like,
it's like a deluxe or just like a
I would say it's a deluxe, but it's going to be also like a separate vibe from its own, and I'm bringing a few guests on to kind of like help me with that. And it's going to be a very short addition to Airbnb, so you can play them together, you know?
Yeah, so without giving too much about the project, what type of vibe are you trying to like? What's the tone?
I would say just, I I'd say a soulful feel. If I would say like, it's like bearing my soul, because sometimes the things I'm saying in it, I might be uncomfortable to talk about in a conversation, but it's still my therapy. And the sound work that Blind Vibrations has done on the production just made me feel like, yo, this has to come out. So, you know what I mean?
So speak more about Blind Vibrations. Like, how did you guys meet? Like, how did you guys come together?
Yo, how I became an artist in residence was I used to go to his crib and work on music through a mutual friend.
Okay.
And I started to like spank it. I was like, pause. I was like making mad music. You know what I mean? I had to, No. Y'all know.
Yo, we had the pause.
Y'all caught that, you know what I'm saying? So I was like heavily in work with him, recording. So we almost amassed 100 records. And it was just, I took a break because I was going through some sort of mental situations in terms of like life, relationships, and just growing and evolving. Then I came back and I was like, yo, let's just do this. And Blind is a jack of all trades. He's an artist. He's a producer. He's somebody that I've been able to confide in. And how we made this project was by just confiding in him and sharing the music. And even in my own right, I'm a bit of a producer. So like we would start by having sessions where we would just listen to beats, and I would tell them about like what I'm going through, and we would then make the beats, and that's how it sounds.
Oh shit. Yeah, nah, he's a dope producer. I like it. I
He's
like
sick,
it.
bro.
Even your sound, like I can just hear the influences, like just pick out like where you're going with a lot of the like themes and stuff. Like that's a really dope project.
Appreciate that, man. I really do.
I can't lie. It gives me that Larry June.
Yo, a lot of people have been telling me that, but the thing is, I definitely want it to be motivation music, because when you listen to Larry June, he's just kicking knowledge, and he's doing it in a way where it's like, yo, he's not like judging, because he's been through shit. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I've been through shit, but I don't want you to fall. I want you to rise up, especially us as people of color, bro. Like, we're already being divided through social media. We're already being divided through just jealousy of each other. Like, let's kind of use this music as a vehicle to kind of like push each other, bro. You know what I mean?
With Larry June, even with his music, I always call it like bougie nigga rap. Like,
yeah.
You feel like, yo, I'm just chilling, like just drinking orange juice, vibing. Makes me want to get some real money sometimes. Like, this is real motivational, cool, like nigga
exactly.
shit.
Vibes.
For sure.
But I didn't. You want to ask something?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So you mentioned music and music being your therapy.
Yeah.
What do you use to like help you reset after like a long, tough week besides music?
I like reading. I've always been into books, so I'll have my head in a book. I was just reading a book on Gordon Parks. He's a photographer from the Harlem Renaissance, and that's something you can do some homework on. It was a guy who was a great legendary photographer for Life magazine, established himself, and then he went on to do one of the biggest movies for like black culture. He directed Shaft.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like I like to read from those perspectives. I like to learn about like guys like Quincy and Berry Gordy, guys who kind of landed on the frontier, and the best way I can do it is either through docs. So I like docs. That's how I find myself relaxing as well, is through documentaries, books, being out in nature. Yo, I like sneakers. I like the culture. I still love hip-hop, still root for it. Don't think it's dead. You know what I mean? So those are the things I'm into.
Give the people, let's say 5 books. 5 books to read.
5 books to read. That's a very interesting take for me now. So let me think about ones that I would tell you to read. For just general knowledge or something that you can embrace is 48 Laws of Power, because you don't have to read it like a book. You can read it per chapter. Yeah. So you don't have to feel like you got to be in a rush for that. The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale is a very good book as well. A book that inspires me and is a fiction book that I've probably read 3 or 4 times is The Coldest Winter by Sister Souljah.
I heard about that.
Yeah, that's an inspirational book.
She's a really good author.
Inspirational book, definitely. Another book I would tell someone to read. This is interesting because you got me on like a tip to try to think of like what are really good books that I would tell someone to read. Napoleon Hill, Get Rich. I think it's Think Rich, Get Rich, Grow Rich. Think Rich, Grow Rich. I think
I know what book you're talking about.
Yeah, it's by Napoleon Hill.
It's like Think Rich,
Grow Rich, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
So that's a great book to read.
I think it's Think and Grow Rich.
Thinking.
Yeah.
So
the book at home.
that's a great book. Another book that I would say, I'm into bio, so a book that I love is the autobiography of Malcolm X by Alex Haley. And the reason why I like that is it's shown the evolution of a man named Malcolm Little, who was born in Detroit, goes to jail, was a drug dealer, a robber, was addicted, and went on to become the head of the Nation of Islam. And just the structure of like his self-belief, he was self-educated while he was in prison, and he read the dictionary and kind of gained education that way. So like what the Malcolm X teaches me is that you can evolve no matter what the circumstances is. If you don't go to college, you can still afford to get a library card. It's free.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts. You also mentioned sneakers.
Yeah. One hundo.
I don't know if I'm still a sneakerhead.
I feel like when you're
I'm phasing out a little bit, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm phasing out a little bit.
A little bit, right?
I feel like even though like you don't have that strong passion for sneakers, it's always still in you.
Yeah.
Like I'm in that like kind of feeling where it's like I don't really care about
Culture. It's culture, man. Because a lot of the times you look at people's feet and you get an opportunity to be like, yo, this person is this or that.
Yeah.
Sneakers tell you a lot about somebody. Yeah.
Facts.
Shoes tell a lot about someone.
Facts.
You know.
What would you say is an overrated shoe, and what would you say is an underrated shoe?
Honestly, I wouldn't say it's overrated, but the way it fits is the Cement 4s. I like the Cement 4s, and I was in a Nike store like a few weeks ago, and I was gonna try one on, and I was just like, yo, how come it's so tight? Like the way they make the shoe, you would think that after reproducing the shoe 3 or 4 times, that they would allow it to be more comfortable. So I do find that the Jordan brand, and mind you, I'm wearing Cements right now, but I'm just saying that like some of the Jordans are more comfortable than others. Like I find like Jordan 4 Cements are uncomfortable. I find the 5s are uncomfortable. Like
the 11s are.
Yeah, 11s. Like there's a few of them.
9s.
The narrow toe box, sometimes just the way that it's fit, it's just like, yo.
I think that's kind of one of the downfalls of Jordans, because I remember like the early 2015, 2016 when they were coming out with all these companies like NMBs, Huaraches, Roshis, like the comfortable shoes. That was the wave at that time, and Jordans were mad uncomfortable. And I feel like as the shoes got more comfortable, Jordans didn't really. Like,
we're still in the legacy, so I feel like it's a legacy brand, like a Polo or a Levi's.
Yeah.
So no matter what, it's always gonna have a fan base. But it's nice to see like Asics and New Balance because they're comfortable. And sometimes we want to go off of the instead of the form, we want to go off of the function. So those shoes, New Balance and Asics, are extremely comfortable. Yeah. Jordans is more like a legacy thing. Like they're gonna always be around, and of course, there's always gonna be 1 or 2 that I like. I'm a fan of like the retros, not all the colors and shit like that. There's 1 or 2 that I like, but for the most part, I'm a retro fan. Yeah, and
they're expensive too, like,
bro. Every time, uptime, yo, $300. $300 for a pair of sneakers, yo. You can go 2 for 1, get the Air Forces, and you crisp, bro.
You can never go wrong with the all whites.
All whites is gonna be a staple forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
So would you say
they're $150 now?
What would you say is underrated? You said the 4s are overrated. What's underrated?
Honestly, I was thinking about it on a simple one. I guess for me, because I'm versatile, there's like maybe the shell toes. Adidas shell toes have always been kind of like a versatile shoe, believe it or not, if you know how to style it.
Facts.
I'm a fan of the Air Max 9.5. I love the 9.5. Those are pretty much the most comfortable. I like the Air Max 9.7, but sometimes it's just they're very narrow. Yeah. So that's my problem with them. But 9.5, I've never been gone wrong. I have multiple colors of them on 9.5.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. Talk about a lot of bullshit, but we do talk about real shit. So let's get into it.
We appreciate that.
How's your mental health?
Right now, I'm in a good place. I journal every few days or daily if I can. It's created a lot of awareness. I have a lot of accountability partners and people that I talk to with what I'm doing, because when you start from your brain, you overthink the process. So I have people that I can speak to about my process of being a creative. I'm planning all these things, even just to be on Stay Hungry. Earlier, I told you how I came to know what you guys were doing. And there's a lot of people that I have in my fold that I can reach out to when I'm going through things. So I say I'm really good right now. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. I like the fact that you said you have accountability partners.
Yeah.
Dive a little bit more into that, because for people that don't know,
I have an opportunity to talk to people and be real honest. And if I'm going through something or if I don't feel like doing something, there's people out there who would be like, yo, you're all right, man. You're going to be okay. Or there's a circumstance where someone's going to be like, fam, remember you said you was going to do that? What's happening? Is there a reason why you're not doing it? And it's not a way to put you down. It's kind of bring you up. You have somebody who's checking in and saying, yo, I see you doing your thing, but I noticed you stopped doing this or that. So they're able to like check you. I got a couple of people that I love like that where I'm their accountability partner too. When they're doing something that I know is not good, I'm going to tell them from a place of love, man, like, yo, I see this or that going on. Well, what can we do to fix that?
So, like, family, friends?
Family, friends, yeah. Family and friends, 100%.
Bet. So, how's your mental health going?
Yeah.
Why are we asking me? We focus on the guest.
You're part of the show, man. You're part of the show.
Right now.
No. Yo, sometimes, he does this all the time, but I feel like I'm adopting this. Like, why I ask the question, but like I don't want the question asked.
Man, I be dodging the question.
It's a mirror question sometimes. Because honest, what if I said I was fucked up right now? You know what I mean? And what would you say to me in some cases like that? It might take you off of. You might be in a good energy field, and I could be like, yo, I'm kind of fucked up right now. You know, this is the situation. I'm sounding low like this. You know what I mean? So, like, it's a reflection of knowing that there are days that you feel like that. There are days where you feel like that, where you just keep quiet, work through the process and the feeling of it. You know what I mean?
I'm big on that, too, like, just trying to work through the process, keep quiet and stuff. And, like, the podcast is maybe it gets better, right? So we always try to approach a person that's coming and, you know, even reflecting about how they feel. Like, we have guests that even mention, like, yo, they're just not in, like, the best mental state. And we try to, like, uplift them, have, like, a conversation. Like, we want this to be a place where, like, you leave with weight off your back. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that.
But circling back to my question about how mental health, my mental health, like, I'm in a good space. Like, it's kind of like I do a lot of self-reflecting, and I don't think I got the chance to really go deep into how I feel right now, but just surface level, like I'm in a good mental space. Like, you know, woke up this morning, got the guys here, have you here, and like I'm just happy to see where this is going, you know?
I'll be honest, first thing when I woke up this morning, and even a few days ago, you guys had sent me an email to confirm everything, then you reached out again to me. I just appreciate the professionalism. I could see that you guys really want it. So even that, I was excited to be around people who are energetic and want to do this and want to make it happen. When I came in here, I see you guys have your setup and everything, and it's inspiring. So that's the first thing. Like, I was excited to also have a conversation and have a rapport with people who are trying to level up the city, bro. Because that's what I'm trying to show you is like, without you guys, I know right now you may be like, yo, I'm just the seed, but eventually you'll be the tree. And with the tree, there's always a harvest. So people will be able to pull from that and be like, yo, I watched the Stay Hungry and they inspired me to do this. So that's how I see it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. Even with you saying all this, is like, yo, we're talking, and I'm getting so much from our interaction. Like, I'm learning stuff, and I'm like, I love taking that away from like our guests. And like, you know what I mean? Like, this experience. So it's great.
Yo, man, honestly, I've learned this thing where it's like I try to talk to strangers. I realize we come from sometimes these environments where our parents would be like, no, don't talk to that person. Or your boy's like, yo, that man right there, you're going to go say something to him? You know, you're like, yo, you don't even know. You might have an opportunity. You might have something good to say. So allowing myself to get comfortable, even on the platforms I've been on and everything else, it's important for my message. I'm a musician. I want to be heard. I want to exchange it. And a lot of the times, with even in the city, it's not just about your musicality. It's like, are you a righteous person? Do you move right? Do you know what I mean?
What's your character
like? What's your character like, right? It's reflective of the things that you say and do. But I know even this opportunity that I have, it's another platform where people are going to check me out, and they're going to check you out too. And collaborating with each other is an extremely important thing in the city. It's like, keep doing it. Don't stop, bro.
With that being said, we have to shout out the BlckkStar Diaries.
Shout out to
man. Shout out to them, man.
Because OG Mac, Mr. Let's Party, shout out to those guys.
Man. Yeah, bringing it together.
But yeah, how's your mental health, Mr.?
Ooh, how about this? You see, I was trying to slip.
It's always a slide, right? Yeah.
Slide by it, but
I was trying to dodge like Neo from the Matrix.
Trust me. Yeah, my mental health is good right now.
Good.
The summer vibes is bringing me back up. Like,
Good.
Every time I go outside, I'm like, the sun's shining, the birds are chirping. What do I have to be mad about? You know, it's another day.
But yo, I'm gonna tell you something. It's okay to be mad sometimes. It's okay to be like not good, because that's a conversation that me and my friends have sometimes too. When you're not good, it's good to know that and acknowledge it. So that's how I got into journaling, was acknowledging that sometimes I'm not okay, and that's okay because you're going through an evolution of sorts, even as a person, learning how to communicate better to others. A lot of the times we don't learn that from home. Now we have all these technology, YouTube, Instagram, to see how to do that.
Yeah.
But for a long time, all of us come from households where maybe our mom and our dad don't really talk to us. Always constantly working. Oh, you go to school, you go work. You know what I mean? It's just it's them talk. Yeah, it's them talk. It was either you go to school or you work. That was it. It wasn't I'm gonna do something creative. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Because I even started journaling, and like I realized like it takes a lot of pressure off of yourself.
Facts.
Once you write it out and you're like, okay, all right, it's not that bad. Let me see what's going on for real. Once you're able to pinpoint the problem, it's so much easier to work through.
Yo, man, that muscle memory too, because what happens is that allowing yourself to have your brain and your hand connected to this piece of paper, you can write these same ideas through your phone. Yeah. But the fact is that you've actually taken the effort, and what it does is it kind of releases everything. So that's why you feel that way. And the thing is, with a journal, it don't got to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be a full page. You don't have to write every day. It could just be like, I'm feeling fucked up. Done. And that's it.
Yeah. It's good.
So I did have a question for you. What's a common misconception of mental health? What do you think that is?
Depression. I think that a lot of people always connotate when someone says that they're going through mental health, they're mad. It's like it's a normal thing for people to go through bouts of being discouraged or going through things where they feel pressure, and that's normal. But I think the thing is that when you hear mental health, a lot of people think crazy.
Yeah.
I think with even mental health, like it's more so just how you feel about yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can have all these negative thoughts that reflect throughout your actions and stuff just because you're thinking about it, right? And it's such a interesting thing because years ago it was never really a conversation. It's just our parents or just our generation used to just think like, yo, this person's just like crazy.
Yeah, a lot of ball and nerves when it comes to like people and just these situations we see with Instagram showing now, okay, how to cope or helping people. Before it wasn't known. And the month that just passed, Men's Mental Health Month, I thought about that because it was like a lot of men are silent. A lot of the times, women have sisterhood. Women have their friends to go to. They have their aunties, their grandmas, their moms. Whereas we have our strong uncles and our dads who've pretty much taken on the world forever and have never said nothing. So, like, that's what we've normalized. Even in this generation, I see, like, a lot of men being fathers. Like a lot of men realizing like, yo, they need to encourage the men to kind of speak and be sensitive. Like it's not a bad thing to be vulnerable, that we have to be that sometimes in order for us to get through things. Because once you, even if it's a cry or a scream, once you do it after, sometimes you feel so much better. You're like, yo, I'm ready to go through the world again.
I feel like people might not agree with me when I say this, but I feel like you need to cry.
Yo, it's
like,
a regular
maybe
feeling.
Not to somebody, but like, yo, go in your room, go cry.
Yo, honestly, man, I lost my father a few years ago due to the pandemic, and I realized,
rest in peace.
Yo, thank you so much, man. And when that took place, at first I was like, yo, I'm not gonna cry. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna cry. But then the thing is, this is somebody who was a part of my life and is a part of who I am. So I felt that, and it really reflected after the days that had gone by when he was buried. And I realized that sometimes it's normal to have these feelings. It's okay to have these forms of emotion. It's a human feeling. When we remove ourselves from that is when mental health issues come about. When we don't actually allow ourselves to feel grief or feel love or feel anything like that. When we're like, yo, I'm too thugged out, or yo, I'm tough.
Yeah.
Bro, that's mental health right there, is denying yourself those feelings.
Yeah. It's part of the human experience, you know, going through the emotions, you know. You have to learn each aspect of that as you continue to grow, you know, and how to deal with it. Because you'll crash out one of these days.
100%.
It'll build up and you'll just blow up on somebody. And it might be the wrong person, wrong time, and hearing some shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's even crazier because you know how you said you can blow up on somebody? Sometimes it's like, it's not even like the big crash out. Sometimes your body language or just how you behave towards somebody, it's just completely different. You don't even understand why you're behaving this way. And it's like, sometimes it's so like unconscious, right? And it's like, yo, how do you deal with something that you're not fully cognizant of that you're doing?
Exactly.
So it causes, like, let's say for instance, you said something negative to me and maybe a couple weeks later I start to behave in a manner that I've never behaved before. It's like, yo, how do you deal with an issue like that?
Sometimes, unfortunately, what happens is that the ignorance is bliss type of situation I mentioned before. Sometimes you just don't know how it feels until maybe you see something on social media where it's like, that's not normal. You know what I mean? And then you can start to question how you've been thinking. And as men, a lot of the times we're just like, yo, stay strong. Let's just thug it through. You know what I mean? We just become so used to that thug it through type of attitude. Even though we may have room to have vulnerability through like maybe our girlfriends or significant others, we just choose not to because we're like, nah, I don't want to put no burden on nobody. So like a lot of the times it's the dialogue we tell ourselves that allows us either to open up or close down, you know?
Yeah.
Man, that's the truth.
Facts.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Do you think your parents should be celebrated on your birthday too?
Yeah, I'm alive, man. Honestly, in the circumstance of that, the fact that they had me, my mom was a teenager when she had me, and she tried to instill as much as she could in me, and I know that she's proud of me when I'm out here. So I know that I'm a representation of both my mother and my father. Even though my father's not here, I'm still here, and she's helped me get through so much. Like, so yeah, it's a celebration. It's a shared celebration, I would say.
Facts.
I feel that.
Facts. Yeah.
Okay.
I asked a couple people that, and they're like, it's my birthday. They have their own birthday, you know? But I'm like, without them, you wouldn't be here. So like, you should celebrate them also.
My mother sacrificed her body.
Facts.
So ultimately, when a woman is sacrificing a bottle to have you, and you know what I mean? And there's women who've died on the labor table. So like, this is a person who's had me and carried me and has helped me survive and get through certain things. Yeah, of course, I'm celebrating both of us. But I can see where some people, it's just sometimes can be either the relationship that they have with them, or it's just they're not in that mindset to think like that at this time. And it could evolve and change. It may not be this right now. Next year, that person is saying, yo, remember when you said that to me?
Yeah.
You're right. I'm celebrating my parents now.
Facts.
So
facts.
I do want to mention something. I like to give another perception on a topic.
Perspective.
Perspective. That's what I meant to
Yeah.
say. But yeah, no. So you see how you said that also there's like Mother's Day, Father's Day. Do you think that takes away from that? Like what you go to tell somebody, yo, like once you celebrate your parents, but it's like Mother's Day, Father's Day as a thing. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, Mother's Day and Father's Day is important too, but I think that sometimes it's a little one-sided. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, I just mentioned to you before, like a lot of fathers are stepping up, and they're not stepping up for no day. You know what I mean? But it does look like commercially, like Mother's Day is the day that you go break the bank and you go take your mom out.
It's even crazy
buy
because
roses and all that. You make sure you back out.
Facts.
Yes.
Yo,
that too.
They say Mother's Day is like one of the highest grossing holidays after Christmas.
Yeah? I thought Valentine's would have been bag, yo.
It's like Christmas, Mother's Day, but then probably like Valentine's Day after that.
That's crazy. Yeah. But you see, systemically, what they do is they do this big like rollout and things like that. Even on my feed, I did like a tribute to fathers. You know what I mean? Even though I lost my father, I still felt like all the fathers that I know that have been real fathers in their children's lives, I wanted to communicate that and thank them for being fathers, for planting the seeds in their children and being there, because it's not easy because you are also learning yourself as a man. And sometimes while you're learning yourself as a man, you have this child that doesn't understand certain things, and you got to be able to give them that nourishment, encouragement, provide them food, put clothes on their back. Sometimes we're seeing the mother and the father not together, they're co-parenting and still making it work, you know? So like those are the things that I think about.
Yeah. Okay. But I think it's time for us to wrap up.
Yeah,
man. Honestly, it was a pleasure, bro. And I look forward to coming back again, man.
Yeah. So just for the people, let them know what you have coming up and what.
All right, no worries. My name is Don Von Jovi. You can call me Jovi.
Yeah. What do you have coming up?
I got my extended stay project coming out. It's going to be probably coming out in the next few weeks. I just released the first single off of it called Bentley Dreams. I've opted to put my music first on Bandcamp. It will be on Spotify and Apple Music, but in particular, why I put it on Bandcamp is because I'm trying to build the community. I want to build like a Taylor Gang, or I want to build like a Jet Life, like Currency and those things. And how those guys were able to do it at one point in time wasn't Spotify or Apple. It was Dat Piff. Now, unfortunately, Dat Piff is not what it was. So like, I'm trying to place a place where you got all my music. You could like it. If you want to spend $1 or $2, you can. And in return for you doing that or investing in me, I invest in you. I'll give sometimes freebies. I have content based on mental health as well, because it's important. It's not just about just saying, yo, I'm a musician. I'm trying to be a human being first, and I want to bring value to everything that I do. So, yeah, it's on Bandcamp. You can find me on my Instagram at Jovi. Jovi's good, I'm sorry. That's JOVISGOOD. If you want to find me on streaming, I have a project called Eastbound to Kennedy that I dropped in 2019. It was a great project that I talked about my journey through the city as being a person from Scarborough and going around Toronto, and how I use the train. I have stories for the ladies on there, something for the streets, reflective, all that. You can check that out. And it would be under Don Von Jovi, DONVONJOVI. You can find me on Bandcamp at airheadrecordings.bandcamp.com. Don't be afraid to send me a DM. Reach out to me. If you see me on the street, say what up to me. You know what I mean? Don't be shy.
Yeah, that's tough.
Man.
Yeah, that's been our video. But before I close, like, comment, subscribe, 5 stars on Spotify.
All that.
Hey, yo, stay hungry, bro, because that's what it is, man. That's what it is. Stay hungry. Stay hungry. You know what I mean?
Out here, man.
Fuck up, bro.
Trust me.
But yeah, 5 stars on Spotify. We starting up our Patreon, so you guys go check that out. Go check out BlckkStar's gaming channel. Go check out Deluxe's documentary channel. You know, those guys are doing big. And yeah, that's been our episode.
Yeah, maybe it gets better.
Eyes look in the mirror. This is Jovi's time. I was bench pressing, lifting the weight, almost sinking and ship. It's like they spit in my face when they ask if I still rap. But here's a debate: if you love, why would you stop applying?